What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Pin to Gas podcast. And man, I'm telling you guys right now, it's an absolute honor to sit here with my man, High Rev Trevor's up in the house. What is going on, brother?
Hey, good afternoon, man. I'm doing well. How you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing good. Busy, long day. And actually, listen, me and Trev, as you guys know, we're supposed to go on at 5. I hit him up earlier and was like, dude, I'm not gonna make it at 5. So yeah, here we are, man. So Trevor, man, what's been going on? How you been?
I've been good. Just trying to lose the winter fluff. So getting back into shape and just mentally preparing myself for Barber. I mean, so we got a couple months left before we're able to jump on the bike and put it to the boys on the old CBR, double R, not the triple R, but we love to give that thing hell for sure and make the fans happy. But man, I just got back from Daytona. That was a great time.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, I had to do some duties. As a lot of people know, I work for American Honda, and I had to go down there and support the event and the display and be a brand ambassador, if you will, and talk to the people, which I absolutely love and enjoy doing. And meanwhile, I loaned my crew chief, Robert Langford, to Hayden Gillum and the Vezra Suzuki boys and Mark Young and Gabe and Brent and Robbie and all those guys. So yeah, I loaned them. They luckily some of our equipment was still in my rig and we got to help them out and stuff. And my boy Hayden Gillum got third. And man, what an epic result for those boys with the resources that they have. They just put that team together 30, 45 days beforehand. So, and that was really, really cool experience to see. It was funny being, I mean, it's out there, but it was funny being his umbrella girl. That's umbrella man, umbrella man, Pop. So that was kind of funny because I was all in my Honda garb. Yeah, and he's riding a Vezra Suzuki. So
yeah, that's why as soon as I seen the pic, I was like, this is absolutely the pic I'm using for social media. 110%. Dude, it's man, it's such a beautiful shot. It's one of those pictures you see where you feel the energy, right? Mm-hmm. You see the determination on the rider. You're over there just cheesing because you're happy to be there, and everybody around you. It's a beautiful pic, man. Yeah.
Man, that's a Brian J. Nelson photo, man. If anybody can take photos, it's that guy. And of course, we have some fantastic photographers with Andrew and Chris Holder and those guys. But when Brian J. Nelson comes around, man, I don't know what kind of camera or filter or whatever that guy has, but he makes it vibrant for sure. That was that's the second time me being an umbrella girl on the grid. Usually I have my own because I'm on the grid myself, but I was Joe Giannato's umbrella girl at Coda. He needed some help, and so me and Robert helped him out with that too. But I'll tell you that being on that grid for the Daytona 200, that's a different animal. The amount of people that are on that grid, just not only the riders, right? Because there was like 65, 66 riders that qualified for that race. Normally, max grid capacity is like 36 to 39, depending on the course. And there was almost 70 out there. So it was as far as you could see. But Moto America brought in like all these celebrities and dignitaries and fans. And man, it was absolutely just chaos out there. And usually those are only like 10 minutes long. So I'm like, yeah, man, no big deal. I'll hold the umbrella in there. It was gusting away. I just felt like Mary Poppins out there. and his wife Summer's like, man, I'm glad you're doing this because it's way too long. It was 45 minutes.
Holy cow.
45 minutes, man. It was not, your typical 10 minutes. You get an interview or two with MA Live Plus or whatever, and then you're out of there and, you get the horns going off. 45 minutes. It was nonstop, man. My traps were hurting. I didn't have to do, chest
a workout, right?
Holding an umbrella in that wind. But yeah, it was a great experience, and what a great result for that team for sure. I'm really proud of that Vezra team for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Big congratulations to Hayden, man, and he's an absolute legend, man. He's so fast on anything he jumps onto. It's ridiculous. It really is.
Yeah. They had a little secret, so that was kind of a little bit of an Easter egg that me holding that umbrella out there because the genie's a little bit out of the bag, and I know the official announcements coming out soon. But Hayden's obviously going to be riding a Honda. on a triple R, and he had old girl out there on Sunday doing a tire test. Ripping. It's oh my gosh, absolutely ripping. I think it was close to 195. It was over 194 miles an hour.
That's ball.
The bike is still stock. So Mark's had a little bit of work on it and got to massage it, the way a Mark Young can. But for all intents and purposes, that thing is still pretty stock bodywork, and he's still ripping shit close to 200 miles an hour. It was cool.
That's impressive. Actually, I watched 44 Teeth on YouTube, and they just did a review on the new 2024, 2025 or 4. Yeah, CBR 1000 R, right? It's like
that's old. Pirate bike. Can we buy another R or whatever?
Yeah, dude, it's a absolutely gorgeous machine, beautiful. I've always been a fan. My favorite Honda out of every Honda that's ever been made, man, is the RC51.
Oh yeah,
absolutely mega bike. But yeah, man, it's Daytona. I've never been. Trevor, I want to go so bad. I just couldn't make it this year, right? Fun, just like everything else, because I'm getting ready to go to Texas and then Atlanta and all that good stuff. So but Daytona, next year it's on my list for sure, 110%.
Great. I've been there a couple times working in the past. I've been there as a spectator. This one was kind of, I was there working and got to spend just the opening part of the 200 down there before I had to go back to work. But yeah, we camped. We brought the RV down there, and we were right there in the NASCAR, owner rider RV spot. So Hayden and the guys were right across from us, but it's kind of fun. You could see my RV every time they came out of the International Horseshoe right there. It was like right there. You can see the Honda flags waving and the Team Sloppy Sprockets flag waving and stuff. So that was pretty neat to see. And it was another bucket list for my RV's called Linda. So everywhere we take Linda, I mean, that's another track that she's been to. I think since we got it in 2020, that's like the 8th or 9th track, from COTA, Daytona, Atlanta, Barber, NCM, Jennings, a bunch of places now.
That's cool. Absolutely. I love it. Linda. I can't wait to meet Linda one day for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. That's awesome. So listen, man, we got, my man Mike Cook is in the house. He says, "What is up, guys? What is going on, man?" And then of course we got Bobby, who's the guy on the screen. Yeah, I don't recognize him. That's hilarious.
It's because that's because Moto America doesn't promote me.
That's all right, because we're promoting you. We got you, baby. We got you. And then my man Luca Allen is in the house all the way from BSB. What is going on?
Nice.
Buenos dias.
Hola.
Absolutely. Yeah. So man, for those that don't know, Trevor, tell everybody like the different bike setup that there is at the Daytona 200 with the quick release front, quick release rear. It's a completely different than your normal track you go to, race series, and not race series, but race you go to.
Yeah, if you're in the front and you want to be competitive, you have to have all that quick change stuff, right? Some teams have a little bit easier than others with pneumatic air guns. Some of them are just using straight up like a Ryobi impact wrench. Some of them don't even have quick change. They just want to show up and they decide, hey, we're not going to change the tire. If we do, we could just change the rear tire and go for it, So the fuel capacity, I think, is able to be increased slightly, but not by much. I know some teams got caught cheating. Some teams, they put little disc or they put stuff in the tank to take up some of that capacity. But I mean, other than that, it's kind of luck of the draw as far as performance goes. A lot of these things are still popping. I don't know if it's a bad VP fuel deal, but there was a lot of blowups.
Yeah.
And it wasn't immune to just one motorcycle. We saw Triumphs let go. We saw Ducatis, saw ZX 636s let go on the second lap. So, I mean, there was a lot of failures for sure. But the teamwork, man, that's where it's all won in the pits. And that's where Hayden and those guys absolutely destroyed it with a really young, I wouldn't say they're young as far as age, but as far as being together as a crew, put it together. That wasn't necessarily like the Vesra Suzuki endurance team, that Mark had back in the day. That was a newer group of guys that, man, absolutely crushed it. When you see that stuff in person, just how precise and calm and collected, no panicking, no oh shit moments. It's just boom, boom, get the job done. and everybody high five and hoot and holler afterwards. It's so. But yeah, to see it in person, it's different, man.
Yeah, it's poetry in motion. I love to watch the pit stops at Daytona. They come in and it's just like front, rear, fuel, boom, done, gone. I was like, dude, that's like, yeah, it's absolutely amazing. You see all the hard work that people put in, and I'm sure it's hours and hours of practicing that pit stop.
It's got to be, it's definitely not luck in the finesse, that old saying, like slow is fast, fast is slow type deal. I mean, the guys that were panicking and things getting hung up, I mean, once you start, your heart rate maxes out, man. It's the same thing on the bike. You almost pump up and you start making mistakes. It's the same thing for those crew guys. They start panicking out there. The mistake just gets exaggerated,
Yeah, no, absolutely. Daniel Shoemake says, yay, I'm on the tarmac in Vegas, headed back to Nashville. Y'all have fun. Safe travels, my friend.
Yeah, buddy.
Absolutely. And then Luca Allen says, question for Trevor. What do the riders say the effect of the big camber on the banked corner have? Does it really compress the suspension?
I'm not quite sure. I didn't get a chance to ride it on Sunday. And I didn't talk to Hayden or anybody about like that. Like, hey, what's that feel on the banking or anything? We've all kind of been through a cambered corner, but 31 degrees is definitely a different animal. Yeah, I'm not exactly quite sure what that sensation is going to be. I think for out there, I know those boys were struggling with change of direction with the wind. It was constantly, you either had a tailwind or a headwind, and the crosswind was probably the most challenging thing for those guys that I kind of heard over the weekend. But as far as the suspension or setups or anything like that, I don't even think those boys mess with the clickers too much. I mean, it's not a very difficult track to ride.
Yeah. No, it's not. But the banking, you always see these pictures, just like anything. Trevor, you see it on like Coda, right? You see it on TV, but you get there, turn one's like, yeah, it's a proper hill, right? Laguna Seca, the corkscrew's massive, but everybody talks about the corkscrew. To me, it's turn one is the most proper corner at Laguna Seca. That's the one that separates the men from the boys, 110%.
Yeah, that's a wide open, fifth gear. The bike's light. You're kind of doing a little wheelie sliding over that thing when you're giving her full beans, man. And then heaven forbid you have a crosswind on that area too. But yeah, turn one on Laguna that's a man's corner for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, Bobby says, ooh, I'm telling Dustin. That's hilarious. And then, of course, we got my man Jeff Servin up in the house, Chef Eats. So anybody out there that wants the best meals you can possibly get, don't sit here and listen to this. Go to Chef Eats and then come back. So
yeah, absolutely. I saw Jeff for just a second. I didn't have a chance to say hi to him. I blew by him on my scooter. I'm like, oh, there's Jeff. But I had to get down into the pits and help those guys out really quick and then cut back out. But yeah, I saw him down there for a second.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to meet him in Atlanta. It's going to be absolutely an honor for sure. And then we got Robert Langford. He says pit board guys is important for sure. Yeah, absolutely they are.
Yeah, so Robert's my crew chief. Robert's one of my great mates, great buddies, and that's the guy I loaned to Hayden and the team, and they put him to work, man. They I don't even think they've paid him dinner, but they put him to work, and he crushed it, man. He was up the night before, writing down the grids and figuring out the math out and when to pull him in and what times he needs to hit and this and that. And I'm like, holy crap, dude, you need to go to bed, man. He needed a grid sheet. He needed like an Excel spreadsheet, but he wrote it out with a Sharpie on just a regular piece of paper. I'm like, but that's what he does, man. He takes it seriously, everything he does. Especially something like the Daytona 200, it doesn't get any bigger than that as far as motorcycle road racing goes. Of course, there's races out there that have some prestige to them, but man, that's probably one of the biggest ones for sure.
Oh, in America, absolutely 110%. Daytona is the cream of the crop. Even a lot of my BSB guys, man, they're always like, dude, my dream, I want to do the Daytona 200. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. It's such a legendary place and a track known worldwide, and everybody wants to do it. And I unfortunately, like I said, hadn't been there to see why on TV, of course, but it's different when you go there and you actually see the banking and feel the atmosphere. And I'm sure I've never been, Trevor, you have. So is the atmosphere different at Daytona versus a regular round in Moto America?
No, maybe because there's more people. Once you're in the paddock, you're in the paddock, right? So that's
Yeah.
just a big traveling circus full of friends and family that you'll see week in, week out, as depending on how many rounds you do. There's definitely more stress, I think, just because it is the first one. So you see some new faces and stuff like that. But I think the overall atmosphere is pretty similar. It's a high stress environment down there in the paddock, and some teams are more stressed out than others, and some act like they're not, but they are. But yeah, I don't know. Daytona is just a fantastic event overall. I think Moto America, for my side, not being participating, I thought it went off well as a spectator. Now, when you look behind the curtain, there's a lot of stuff that we deal with at Moto America. There's audibles at left and right, whether it's schedule changes and things like that. But I wasn't on the radios. My boy Robert was on the radios, so I couldn't hear any changes. I think there was maybe a couple schedule changes that they throw at you, but they got really slick with that. They introduced a new app at Coda called Sportity or Sportity or something like that. And no joke, that's the name of it. And you'll get your notification. You'll get a push notification through that, and that seemed to work out pretty well. But
That's awesome. He says
overall environment, I think, is pretty similar.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to go. I can't. Jeff says I was so burnt. Ha ha ha. I bet. He said, Bobby said, LO. He said, Titty. He did. Absolutely, he did. I thought it was fucking hilarious. Ricky Bobby wants to know if he got the new yet. Inquiring minds want to know.
Nope, not yet.
It's coming though.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see. Working for Honda, you think I'd already have one, but I work for Honda, so there's some conflict of interest, I think, with some of that stuff. You just can't go around and sponsor your own employees and whatnot. So that's a little bit of a challenge, but I think there'll be some opportunity in the future for sure to jump on one, maybe help test one. I know a lot of people are going to be riding them this year, so hopefully I have the opportunity to get on one. And if not, I'll just be holding those boys up a little bit as they try to get around me on a double R. And they're like, what's happening here? So.
And your bike's absolutely gorgeous too, by the way. It's 2018 CBR. Yeah. Is the SP correct?
Yeah. Just an SP1. It's not an SP2. But she's bone stock. I mean, everybody says that crap, but yeah, stock suspension. The only time the suspension's even been worked on is just when I had a fork seal leak. And that's it, man. We just show and go. We put some of that crappy VP fuel in it, put some Dunlops on her, and let her rip.
Let her eat, baby. I love it. Yeah. I love it. Bobby says we now know who got Jeff's bikes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like Gabe is on one. I think Michael Gilbert might be on one. If he's not on one, he's already kind of hinted that he's going to be on a Honda. And we know Hayden's going to be coming out soon with his announcement. And then Jason Uribe, you got his bike. Yep. And on the privateer side, I think Jeffrey Tate up north is going to be ripping around on one too. So, yeah, it's going to be fun to see that many Hondas on the grid and in the paddock for sure. I know the fans want it. If anything, we were a litmus test for that. I mean, our lines for fans were just as long as anything, if not longer, because we were the only Honda on the grid. So that was really fun to do and meet the people. And they always ask the question, like, when's Honda coming back? When's Honda coming back? On a official capacity, I can't speak on that, but on, the contingency that we threw out there, it's so massive. It pays more to ride a Honda than it pays to ride anything else by far. Moto America doesn't even have a purse like Honda has a purse. So I think that's why you're seeing some of these guys like, oh, I'll jump on this thing. And then when they jump on it, realize that, pretty much stock, it has 215 to 212 horsepower. And once you get the electronics kind of dialed in with that bike, it handles phenomenal. From what I've been told, I know my bike handles phenomenal. So I can only imagine that bike's better. And has 40 more horsepower. Yeah. So it's gonna be good.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. I'm glad to see, dude. That's what we need in moto. We need factory teams back, and we need Suzuki, we need Honda, we need Kawasaki, we need absolutely come back. Ducati, we need all of that, right? We really do. Jeff says, ride a Kawasaki and see what Honda does.
Oh, I'll ride anything, to be honest. I was actually talking to Robert on the way up here, or out driving today. I'm like, hey man, if we can't ride stock 1000 at Road Atlanta, let's get on a hooligan bike. Let's go out there and mess around on a hooligan. And what bike is homologated for? Is there a Honda even homologated? They talked about 12 or 14 OEMs that were in the hooligan class. And I'm like, man, I don't even think I could name 14 OEMs. Mm-hmm. But we came close. I think we came up with like 11 that were probably possible. But I don't know if they have a bike that's eligible or homologated based off the rules, right? Whether it's an air-cooled V-twin or liquid-cooled or a flat whatever, or, parallel, I don't know. So the hooligan class is a little weird for me, but good competition, I guess.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch too, right? It is. But yeah, listen, dude, I want to learn, dude, tell us everybody how you got into motorcycles to begin with, because your story starts somewhere. So where does your story start?
Yeah, it started, I grew up in Northern California, where I moved to Northern California, and I worked at a Toyota dealership, and I was the guy that drove around parts to the auto body stores in Lake Tahoe and Reno. So I worked 410s, and we had a 97 CBR 600 F3 that came in on trade. All red, didn't have any of the cool graphics, just an all red one. And I had to have it. Never rode a motorcycle in my life. And I ended up buying it. And of course, I looped it out and crashed it the first week I had it. And then ended up getting a 95 CBR 600 F3 with the neon yellow and purple and white and stuff like that. And then so I got into it that way. And then my first job ever, and this will probably date me, was for a motorcycle tank cover company called Second Look. And if you remember anything about Second Look back in the days, you had a tank cover. It was like a tank bra, and it was color matched. So if there was a graphic or whatever on it, now everything's like Stomp Grip or Tech Spec or whatever, right? But back then, they had color matched tank bras and color matched seat skins and stuff like that. And that's how I got my actual first job in the motorcycle industry is that I was the guy in the back just cutting marine grade vinyl to these templates. There was a Gixxer, it didn't matter. We sold them to everything. And then my job in retail that actually started with Honda was at Carmichael Honda back in 2000. So 24 years ago, I guess now. And he said, hey man, you're like a cool kid. You're always coming in here hanging out. You want a part-time job? I'm like, what does it pay? And he's like, strictly commission. I'm like, man, I'm good with my $8 an hour job. Like, life's good. Like, I'm fine. He's like, just try it. If you don't like it, it's fine. I'll pay for your sales license, blah, blah, blah. So my very first day, at the end of the day, I sold an XR70 and I made like $60. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I got to work all day to make $60. Right. So from there, it was just kind of downhill. As far as, Battlefield, promoting my way up to Honda and stuff like that, and working for, American Honda, wore every single hat inside the dealership, from sales manager to general manager to not really parts manager, but F&I manager and things like that. So yeah, that's kind of how it started. And then back in 07 and 08, when the economy was starting to tank, I applied for Mercedes-Benz because I figured people that have money will have money. And then also Honda, because I always wanted to work for Honda, and I actually got my resume swapped when I sent them to them. But yeah, and that was it as far as getting in with, motorcycling. But, it's just started on the street with some Carl's Jr. boys back in the day up in Northern California. It'd be Friday, Saturday night. You'd go on a big old meetup, and, the spectrum was I was a slow guy at first, and, we'd go on a big old loop through the mountains and stuff, and those guys have already smoked their cigarette and drank their Red Bull, and I'd just be pulling up, man. I'm like, hey man, I'm thirsty too. Can I have it? Right. But you got to earn it. If you're not fast enough to keep up, the ride just keeps going, So sure enough, you get faster and faster, then you're leading the group, and then you're like, well, I'm too fast for the street now or whatever, so I'm gonna go do a track day. And then you think you're the shit out of a track day in novice group, and then as you progress, you just get your butt kicked every single category that you go up, from novice to intermediate to advanced. And then you're advanced, like, oh man, I'm advanced. I need to go ride. I need to go race. And you go racing and you get your ass kicked there too. And, you got to just kind of stick with it, man, and work on yourself and train and get some training, read some books, go to some Yamaha champ schools. Back in my day, it was the Freddie Spencer school. I mean, I've ridden on the back of Freddie Spencer with the VFR 800. That dude's smooth as ice, man. You couldn't even tell he was shifting gears, and this was before quick shifters,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's long story short. That's kind of how it is.
Yeah, and then now you're racing in super stock 1000 class, Moto America, right? So what was it like? A buddy of mine, Kevin Horty, he had to accumulate 100 points, if right, to get his MA license. Was that the same deal with you?
Same exact deal. Yeah. So that story kind of starts with me and my buddy Robert, my crew chief guy, and Mike, Matt, and Patricia, and Jay, and all my buddies. We're sitting over at Barber, and we're sitting on Tunnel Jump Hill, which is like turn 11, 12. We're sitting there, and we're just looking at the lap times. I'm like, dude, I could do that. No problem. So long story short with that, I just kind of put my money where my mouth is and went back to Wera. So I never raced with Wera before, but I raced AFM back in the early 2000s and was top novice in open superbike, open production. I've raced against Ken Hill before, Corey Call, Hawk Mazzato, man, a bunch of old cats. I mean, I'm 43 years old, so that's, kind of my wheelhouse. I know I don't look like it. I moisturize, but...
Me too, right? Yes, that's how we stay looking young. Except for this, I got to do something with this. I'm getting a little gray right here. I need to either shave it off or touch it up. I don't know.
Yeah, but so that's it. So got my race license back again. Luckily, I had enough that I could carry over and jump right to expert. I didn't have to go through the whole novice crap again because I raced with some other series previous, AFM, Moto Series, a couple other orgs throughout the years that I could just transition up and. Yeah, just stacked up. I tried to race as much as possible to get those 100 points. But it's just not 100 expert points. You can accumulate those 100 expert points, I think, over 5 years. Okay. So you have time to get those. But you also have to have 6 successful weekends in one season. And with the Southeast for Wera, there was only 7. So you can only miss like 1 round, right? And a successful weekend just means not crashing. So if you crash, or if you deem dangerous or a bunch of meatball flags and stuff like that weekend shot, you might as well just start over next season. So we kind of went through that and had some good success and got on the box a bunch of times and we almost won the senior superbike championship and we lost out just by 3 points.
Wow.
And that was a little bit of a heartbreaker because that's only one position, right? From first to second. That was kind of the difference through the whole season. And Dan Kruger ended up winning that one that year. But yeah. So then jumped into Moto America and first 2022 and at Road Atlanta. And of course the one of the tallest guys, if not definitely one of the heaviest in stock 1000. My race weight's like 220. So when I put a kangaroo on me, it's 235, and over 6'3". But yeah, so we went there with no spares, even the whole season of Wera, no spares, not even extra body work, through handlebars, nothing. And we show up to Road Atlanta and try to qualify. We ended up qualifying 28th out of 52 riders that showed up. But unfortunately, Ezra Bobier was setting lap record after lap record. And we missed out by 0.6 of a second.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I qualified 28th and 27 made it into the show. Ah. And my buddy Robert was not a good enough sales guy to get me provisional.
You need to step up your game, Robert.
Yeah. But it was, just 0.6 of a second. And, man, that was heartbreak because that's a lot of training. The financial commitment doesn't change whether you're in the show or not in the show. If you're in the show, it's just a couple extra set of tires at that point. But, man, that was a heartbreaker. So I said, fucking never again. We're going to make sure that we're always in a show, whether we've never been to that track or been in that track. And sure enough, we show up to Barber and we qualify. And I think there we qualified 30th, which I think was my worst qualifying. And then we made our way up to 24th. So we moved up. And then the following year at Road Atlanta, I had, a bone to pick with that track and just the mental side of it and everything else. We qualified 20th. Nice. So we went up there and we were up towards the front and fighting for championship points. which is obviously top 15. And that was kind of the goal and the target. But man, I can only sail it for so long. With the bike being so slow, I'm taking all the risk on the brakes and everybody's just on the gas. And then at Barber, the next round, qualified 12th on day one. So yeah, we learned from it. We stepped up our game overall as a team, and overall my rider, the air between the ears, figured it out as well on what to do. And we didn't go after it because budget's a big thing too. So usually we go full send on Saturday, and then we kind of just sit back and we use Sunday qualifying as like a warm up or like a race sim, or we're going to see how the tires are going to act. So we'll just have some scrub tires on and we'll just burn all 20-30 minutes and just stay out there and basically do a race sim. And so we didn't go after it on Sunday, and then we ended up, I think, 20th overall. So we lost some spots. But at Barber, the pack is so tight. Literally from 12th to 30th is all 1.5 seconds. I mean, the dude in 12th is doing low 29s, high 28s. The dude in 30th is doing 31s. Yeah. So I mean, it's all pretty. It's a tight knit group right there. It's a really fun race for sure, but challenging for the Honda. A little slow.
Yeah. That's everybody's going out to prepare for battle, the Battle of Thermopylae out there with all those riders. Yeah, it's absolutely. Nick Duke says Trevor Watson is the man. Absolutely. What is up, Nick? Dude, Nick's awesome. I finally met him in Jersey, and so I show up, finally meet all the CFE guys, right? Mm-hmm. And it was, man, what time? It had to have been like 7 a.m. And they said, in order to get initiated, you need to shotgun this beer. And I was looking at it, I was like, it's 7 a.m. They're like, shut up and take the beer, So yeah, that was my introduction to
Yeah, CFE. Yeah, you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
Right? Yeah. That's a true fact too, right? And then we got my man Andrew Davis. He says, literally want to follow this guy's footsteps.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. My point in my career, I just do it for fun and do it to promote companies that I can help that are all friends of mine, whether it's John Cook at Track Day Winner or even Fastline Track Time. It's all fantastic people that create great memories. Speaking of Fastline, I want to give them a little shout out really quick while it's still in my mind. Their season opener is May 4th and 5th. So please go check them out at trackrabbit.fastline or something like that. I didn't write down the website, but just go to fastlinetracktime.com and they'll get you dialed in. And they're also having a ladies' day on June 14th, which is awesome. I know some other orgs do it. They're going to do it as well. So if you're a female and you want to go out there riding, you got to be a female. You just can't identify as one, and you'll have they're going to have a ladies' day is June 14th. And then the season opener, which is going to be an absolute barn banger, May 4th and 5th. I'll be out there. That's going to be a good warm up for me because right around the corner, we're going to have Barber, May 19th, 17th, 19th, something like that. So a couple weeks ahead of time, and we'll be out there full sending it and slipping and sliding around and doing some wheelies and burning up some Dunlop rubber for sure.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Man, that's my birthday weekend too. So absolutely you're going to go out there and murder it, dude.
Maybe, baby. Sure. Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Robert, to our question, he says, I tried, trust me, to get you on that grid, right? Yeah, I bet you was pleading, please, we got this. Look at this. Yeah, it's good stuff.
We didn't know that was even an option, right? So once the guys, there it is, fastline.trackrabbit.com. So shout out to Becky and Chris Meyer, fantastic people. They're the owners of Fastline, and man, proud to represent them today. But yeah, as far as that incident at Road Atlanta, we didn't know that was even an option. We thought, hey man, if you're out, you're out. And the shitty thing too was that timing and score was down, so we were completely in the dark. We didn't even know where we were even at. And then when it came up, it's like, oh, you just missed it. Well, the guys were like, usually if you're within a second, under a second, they'll make a provisional, especially since 39 was the grid capacity there. And only 27 made it into the show. So there's definitely more room to add, a 0.6 of a second or something like that. But Yeah, I know he tried. He's just not a good sales guy.
Need to step up your game, Robert. That's awesome. I love it. Dude, that's good stuff, man. So going into 2024 super stock, and you guys only have six rounds?
5 rounds, same
5
as
rounds.
last year. I actually like it. I don't like the venues this year as far as where they put them. They couldn't make them any further apart. We don't start at Road Atlanta this year. We start at Barber. So that's a bummer not to have 2 regional races kind of close to each other. So it goes to Barber, then it couldn't be any further apart. Goes all the way up to Brainerd, and then from Brainerd they go all the way to the west coast to the Ridge,
Yeah.
and then from the Ridge down to Laguna, and then Laguna all the way to Jersey. So if you were just a traveling gypsy on the Moto America circus, you'd have to take 2 months off of work just driving to those places.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think it's feasible to hit all those rounds. Last year was really good because we did Road Atlanta, Barber, and Coda. But this year it's just going to be Barber. If there's some opportunity to throw my bike on one of those Honda rigs that are going to be crisscrossing the country, we might be able to. And if we get some support, it'd be good to do Laguna. I used to be able to go pretty good around that place. And then we've never been to Jersey. Or if there's an opportunity somehow, if they change some rules up, if maybe we could do Mid-Ohio. I like Mid-Ohio a lot too. I'm familiar with that place. So it'd be cool to get a couple other rounds in that I can at least drive to. If not, throw my bike on somebody's truck and fly out to. But I don't know. We'll see. For sure, Barber. And then we'll see how that goes and what kind of support we can get and who we can promote and help and take it from there.
Man, it just blows my mind when they did that schedule. Like, that's just almost unfeasible for most people probably racing in that class without major support, because that's quite cross country for sure.
It's unbelievable. I mean, you even saw teams like Altus, 2-time Stock 1000 champion. They're like, whoa, we're out. So, I don't know. It's probably going to be the guy that shows up to 2 races going to win the thing. But yeah, it's I don't like that schedule. I do like how for 2023 and 2024, it is just 5 venues, but it's a doubleheader, which is good. Yeah. And I think in years past, I know in 2022 it was 7 or 8 venues, but it was you only raced on Saturday. So that was it, and so we were kind of mixed up between whether it was Junior Cup or Twins Cup. And so the guys for like Twins Cup, they would show up on Thursday and load in just like with the rest of us, but they don't race till Sunday, So I do like how they changed that schedule and made everything a doubleheader. But I don't know. You look at all the grids we've had out here the last year, man, Stock 1000, there was always over 50 entrants for Stock 1000. So the participation was there. It's not like they couldn't fill a grid.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I do. So what's your favorite track you ride out here in America?
Good question. I've ridden a lot of them. I'd say right now my favorite is probably Barber. The reason why I say it, the facility is amazing. It's relatively close to home. I live just south of Nashville, Tennessee, so it's only a 2.5 hour drive. But just I love absolutely the tunnel jump. You come through turn 9 and 10 and it's blind and it's off camber and you're just ripping through there and you're just wide open through 3rd gear and 4th gear and the thing's wheeling and you're up over the curves. And that's the thing too, like you're talking about like the inclines and the elevation changes and stuff. The faster you go, that a lot of that stuff flattens out. And a lot of times it actually almost, for me, it almost looks downhill. But then when you go walk the track, you're like, whoa, that thing's banked and you can really huck it in there. So a corner where you do almost completely G out at Barber is, well, you G out in turn 3 for sure. It's a complete G out. And then turn 11, it's another G out. And you could just, a lot of people roll off and kind of break through that corner and you can just keep it pinned all the way through there because it's an uphill bank corner. So I would say right now it's Barber. Mainly because I can be a little bit more competitive there. I still have to send it into every single corner to kind of make up that gap I lose going down the straightaways. But I've ridden Barber, Road Atlanta, Mid-Ohio, even Utah Motorsports Park, Laguna Seca, Sears Point, Thunder Hill, California Speedway. But I've ridden tons of them.
I've been around. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Dude, Utah, I ain't heard Miller Motorsports in a long time, man. I wonder why we stopped going there. That was an awesome track.
Yeah, what 17 I think was the last year.
Last year, yeah.
No spectators out there though. I
Yeah.
think that was the biggest thing, and Moto America was still kind of getting their feet wet a little bit, and not they're not the same size as they are now than they were then. So maybe that was it. I mean, couldn't get anybody to fill seats out there, but the track is so big, there's no seats to fill. They do have those grandstands out in the perimeter, but a lot of the track you can't even see anyways, even though it's really flat out there. But that was one of those instances too, where we just went out there for the World Superbike races and did our track day and stuff the Monday after the race. And at that point they did the full course. It was like, 5 miles to do the whole course. And it was Doug Chandler and his son Jet, and him and I were battling out there and stuff. And Doug wouldn't like it if I duffed up Jet a little bit, so he would go duff me up and stuff. And Ken Hill was out there, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome, man. I couldn't imagine being on a track with Doug Chandler. He was always one of my favorites growing up. Chandler, man. Yeah, he's a absolute fast guy. I met him several times. I still got a signed helmet up in my other room. I never get rid of that helmet. I remember, dude, Trevor, it's funny because I met him finally. I was like, Doug, will you sign my helmet? You know, this kid, 19. I was like, will you sign my helmet, please? He's like, yeah, sure, blah, blah. Then I go to the store and I buy some clear coat, and I go to clear coat, and that shit runs all over the place. I was like, God damn it. So the next day I bring it back. I was like, Doug, I fucked up. And he had a big old dip in his mouth, and he looked at me, he just laughed. I was like, dude, I put this on it. He's like, it's okay, I got you. Just don't do that again. I was like, yes, sir. Yeah. It's good stuff, man. So man, are you going to Texas for the GP race?
Maybe to spectate, but not, well, obviously just to spectate.
Yeah.
Not going to do King of the Baggage or anything like that. Probably not. I don't think it's going to happen, but never say never. If Honda tells me to jump, I jump. So,
well, Honda, send them out there. Yeah, because I'm going. We'll have definitely a lot of fun for sure. Man, good stuff. So 2024, 5 rounds. You're definitely going to make 3 of them.
Just Barber is just Barber for sure. And then maybe Laguna, maybe Jersey. And then would love to do Mid-Ohio. I think we could be competitive at Mid-Ohio. We could be competitive anywhere we go to, even at COTA. I mean, at COTA, we were down 18 miles an hour down that back straightaway, but I mean, we finished 25th. So, yeah, we're competitive everywhere we go. But yeah, that's what the plan is for that. And can do some track days with Fastline track times and just enjoy it, man. Man. Without having such a big schedule this year on committing to 3 races, it's going to be good just to maybe do 1 round, go out, enjoy motorcycle racing a little bit more, motorcycle track days more, because it does get stressful from training to eating right to putting the finances together, especially if you're not getting any sort of help or anything like that. It's a lot. It's taxing.
No, I couldn't imagine. Yeah, for sure. So you're training on the off season. What kind of training do you do? Do you a special diet and all that good stuff?
Yeah, just stop drinking beer. No,
I put the Coors Light down.
Yeah. A lot of Peloton, a lot of cardio, and just jump on a Peloton and just try to get the heart rate up and maintain it for 45, 50 minutes, if not an hour or more. And in some cases 90 minutes. Just floating it up there, because I mean, a lot of people don't realize how physically demanding this stuff is. At that level, your adrenaline is out the roof. You have to hold on for 20 minutes. So if you're doing track days and you're inspiring to be a Moto America racer, man, you better go full send every time you go for that 20 minutes out there, because it's every bit of 20 minutes of just full send, full concentration, heart rate maxed out. But a lot of Peloton, some core and strength training, and things like that, but just a lot of cardio for sure.
And obviously watch what you eat and all that good stuff too.
Yeah, power to weight ratio is everything, right? But I don't necessarily like, oh man, I'm going to cut out this or that. Cut out the drinking is going to be the biggest thing. If you're at 43, of course you like to have a beer, but yeah, it's just losing that weight. And like I said, even on a good day, if I'm at my Moto America weight, that's just 220, maybe 215. But then, you got to strap on a kangaroo on top of you, which is another 15 pounds. So it's a it takes you a month just to lose the weight of that suit.
Yeah, that facts, right? That's absolutely it is. Robert says best track day for 2024 is going to be at NCM for the chili cook-off. I hear you, man.
Yeah, that's another great event that Fastline puts on. That's a charity event for the road racing action fun air fencing.
Yep.
So all the people that participate, they have a chili cook-off and stuff like that, but then they have a raffle that they put together to raise funds for the air fencing. We all know that we need air fencing. So that not only is that a fantastic, really fun event to do, it's for an amazing cause. And, having that air fence around there, especially at NCM, that track is phenomenal. It's a really fun motorcycle track, but it's not designed for motorcycles. It's the National Corvette Museum track in Bowling Green, Kentucky. They actually produce the Corvettes right across the freeway from the track. But whoever the Armco barrier rep was, man, he retired after selling all the walls of that place. Because, man, if you don't make it to the wall, your bike definitely will.
Yeah, the road racing air fence is absolutely phenomenal. So that reminds me too, because when what was it, Cam Bobier hit those hay bales, man, what track was that?
The Ridge?
Yeah, the Ridge. That's it. So do you like the Ridge? I've never been there, but to me it looks like a great track. I mean, it's up and down, super hilly. I mean, it's
I've never ridden the Ridge either. That was a newer track that's only come on board with like 6 years or so, 5-6 years. So I haven't had the opportunity to go out there, but it looks like my wheelhouse for sure. I love elevation change. Something that's a little flowy, but there is some stop and go in there, so you can back the thing in and stand it up on its edge of the tire and accelerate out of there. That's my wheelhouse for sure.
Absolutely. And look who we got in the house. Chris Parrish. He says Red Rocket. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, that's the champ. That's my boy. Obviously,
Twins
Cup champion, and yeah, he's a good guy to go out there and rip around with and stuff. And he doesn't like it when I slap him around at NCM a little bit, so he calls it the Red Rocket. But yeah, the dude's an animal himself on that thing, and the wealth of knowledge that he has, man, it's one of those same thing too. Just you watch that guy on TV, and then you're fortunate enough to be in the same paddock as these guys. Not that I'm like fanboying with them, but it's like, man, you feel their presence and their aura, and you kind of get that energy off of them, So yeah, Chris is awesome.
Yeah. 110% for sure. 100. Let me ask you this, Trevor. How do you mentally prepare for a race? Do you have any rituals you do? Left boot on, right glove, blah blah blah. Or
yeah, actually, yeah, it is. Yeah, I always put my right boot on first for some reason, and I remind myself to do that. But I don't know why. I'm not superstitious in that way, but for some reason I do that. I just warm up in the RV. I will have my wife and my kids there, and we'll have a dance party, and we'll just have a dance party, and we'll turn the music all the way up, and it's usually like some Kanye or something or whatever is hip at the time, and we'll just party it out. And then I'll take about 10 minutes just to stretch. They'll leave me alone. I'll stretch, and I'll just get into a spot. I don't know what the feeling is or what the tunnel vision is or anything like that, but I just get into a spot and I come out and walk down, and I kiss my girls, and I go down the pits, and we talk to the boys, and we try to keep it light and stuff. But it's always nerve-wracking. Especially at Barber that first year when we qualified, actually. And man, I could be at a motocross race. I've done a lot of supercross stuff and motocross stuff, and it could be a county fair, and you'll just be sitting there elbow to elbow behind the starting gate, and you're just like, man, what the hell am I doing here? So yeah, but as far as just getting ready for the race, especially at Moto America, that's it. Just have a good time. You got to remember, we're, Yamaha or Honda or anybody, no one's there to be picking up all high rev Trev on a, 4-year contract or anything. So it's there to make some good memories with my buddies and my wife and my daughters, and just enjoy it. So I try to enjoy as much as possible. I do get a little bit of an attitude out there, which, those guys see, I think, is that resting bitch face. I'm not sure, but I think they think I'm always mad, but I'm very grateful for everything they've done for me, and the time they take away from their family and their job to be part of it. It's definitely, it's recognized for sure. So big shout outs to those guys. But yeah, just once I put the helmet on, man, I like the umbrella stuff and the grid stuff, and that's cool because I want to take photos with anybody that wants to take photos and promote the brands, whether it's Ride Red or Fastline or track day winner or Hustle Hard, Vortex EK, you know, anybody that's helping support, I want to get as much promotional stuff out there for those people for sure. But man, quick starts are a little bit more enjoyable. Just go out there, do your side lap, go right back to the grid and take the hell off. You know, that's where it's at for a mental standpoint. But other than that, the enjoyment of sitting there and talking and, you know, shaking hands and kissing babies is always a lot of fun too.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. Yeah, that's good stuff. So do you have a favorite cheat meal you do during the season?
Favorite cheat meal? Yeah, probably Mexican, man. Some Tito's right across the you know, behind me in the neighborhood here. Get a burrito Colorado.
Yeah. I love it, dude. Who don't love Mexican food, right? It's all, but I like the heat. I always tell them every Mexican restaurant I go, bring me the hottest hot sauce you got. And they're like, okay, and I'll bring it out there. I'm like, nah, go back there and make this special hot sauce. I know you guys do because every one of them do it. Bring me this special stuff. And she's like, really? I'm like, absolutely. So I fucked around and found out at an Indian restaurant, right?
Yeah,
I'm really good with heat. So I went in there feeling froggy. Make me the hottest shit you can do. Same thing. He's like, okay, my friend, you know, and I was like, no, I want this stuff in the back, like the super hot. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, absolutely. Brings it out there. I get about 6 bites into it. And all of a sudden I was like, something's really wrong here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Won't ask for that again. You can keep the hot, that stuff back there in the back. Just make it. Yeah. It was, absolutely devastating.
I like hot stuff too. Some of the flavors I can't stand. Like I don't know if it's like Reaper or Ghost Pepper or something like that. I just don't like the flavor. I like the heat. Yeah. I hate the flavor of it. But man, I've done that whole hot ones challenge, you know, with the chicken wings and stuff, and the one chip challenge. And man, a couple of those, man, those they'll throw you in the upside down. Man, it's almost euphoric. You know, you start sweating and you start seeing stars, and you're just like, what is happening here?
I do. That's what I tell people, man. They're like, why do you like hot stuff? Because I'm the same thing. Last Dab. Actually, I got 2 bottles of the Last Dab in my refrigerator that I use. I'm like, I'm Last Dabbing it. My wife's like, you're fucking retarded. I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, but the hottest shit I ever do, the bomb, dude, man, fuck that, dude. That shit's just, ugh, it's so nasty. Bad. It's nasty. So my buddy was like, you know what? He got me some of those, man. What were they called? Reaper peanuts. They were 13 million Scoville each peanuts, and I ate 6 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, and it wasn't it was this is the best way I can explain it. Dude, it literally felt like somebody pulled my tongue out with an ice pick, gasoline, set it on fire, let it go back in, right? And then the second wave came and it was the same thing. And then all of a sudden, everything went away. I was super, super numb. I felt like the highest euphoria I've ever felt in my life. It was absolutely insane, crazy. But the next 3 days after that, oh my God, it was absolutely horrible.
Oh yeah, it can mess you up medically. It can mess you up.
Dude, my gut was so messed up, dude. And everything that I ate for like 2 weeks was just fucking whatever. Macaroni and cheese, it don't matter what it was.
It does not matter. Ice cream doesn't matter. You just have to woo-saw it out, man. You just have to go for the ride. You know what I mean? Just ride that all thing in. Water doesn't matter. Ice doesn't matter. No, man, it's just time. It's just time. And you wanted to go through hell and you're going through it, man.
That's it. Absolutely. Matter of fact, me and DeMario are going to do the one chip challenge in Atlanta. And he was like, yeah, we'll do it on Friday. I was like, no, we're not. We're going to do it on Sunday after you get done racing for sure.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody blaming me for that shit. Oh, he did bad because of blah, blah, blah. I'm like, nah, absolutely not. Robert says the money is on Team Real Steel to take home the MA. Yes, dude. ST1 championship this year. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's Hayden's team.
Yep, absolutely. And then Robert says, old Johnny Scoville death. That's exactly what it is. Yes, Robert. Thank you.
If anybody's gonna know, it's that guy.
Yeah, and I love hot stuff, man. I got dude, I found this really good one at Kroger. I know you guys got Kroger.
Yeah,
it's I'll send you a picture. It's called Marie Sharp. It's made in Belize.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's so good, Trevor. It's got a good heat to it, and the flavor is absolutely amazing. I'll put it to you like this: I bought 1 bottle of it, and I ate it that day. The whole entire bottle of hot sauce.
All right, yeah, send it to me.
I will. I'll get you a bottle, and I'll send it to you. Hopefully you'll be in Atlanta, and I'll just bring it to you. But I'll send it to you. It's not a problem. But this I always test them. I'll take a spoon and I'll fill that bad boy up and be like, shoot, and Yeah, that's how I do my. Yeah, it's anyway. It's crazy. Listen, we're almost an hour into this, dude. This has been an absolute fun time. Listen, you already know I'm a fan and I'm a friend. I'm gonna be cheering for you the whole way. Let's go. You got this. But I want to get away from all this motorcycle talk. We'll talk about MotoGP and all that here in a minute. But I want to get to know Trevor when he's away from everything else, right? Of course, we know wife and 2 daughters. I'm a dad. I absolutely am a family man. I love my son and my wife. I'd rather be with them than anywhere, right?
100%.
All right, my wife's over there. Unless it's MotoGP weekend, World Superbike BSB, then I'm like, yes, let's go. Y'all shut up. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, it's good stuff, man. So does Trevor have a favorite movie?
Yeah. Favorite movie. Man, it's gonna be an old school one. It's probably something like Smoking Aces or something like that. You know, that's from a while back, but something like that is my jam for sure. It's definitely not Willy Wonka. Man, I watched a bunch of that growing up as a kid and PTSD, man. But
facts, right? Yeah. You're like, what is this shit? Yeah.
But yeah, favorite movie, probably like Smoking Aces, something like that.
That's a great movie too, man. I ain't seen that movie in a long time. Mine's Top Gun. Dude, it's my
that's a good one. That's a good one. Yep, Top Gun 2 is pretty good too. It's just Star Wars story, but it's the same exact story as Star Wars, man. You had to train and had to go through the canyon and rip the freaking missiles down into the Death Star. It's the same story, dude.
It is.
Like,
it's
the
same
story.
Dude, I'm glad you said that because I said that a while ago and people looked at me like, "What are you fucking retarded?" I'm like, "What are you blind? You don't see it? Like, are you not watching the same movie I've been watching?" I don't.
Even almost the graphics were the same. I'm like, what is this DOS stuff that there's? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome what you pick on when people you actually pay attention to what's going on. You know, you're like, what? Yeah. Where you? Yeah. Anyway, we already said books earlier. We talked about the books.
Yeah, last book I read, because I knew you were going to answer it, was Hummingbird from Rude Jude. But then back in the day, I mean, when my wife and I didn't have kids or anything, we'd go to the movies like anything else. So I've read the Twilight series and stuff like that. And we would go to the midnight showing and take all these date nights and stuff. Hell, we'd go to freaking GameStop to get Call of Duty at midnight when it opened up too, to make sure we get all the XPs and not get demolished the next day. But yeah.
I remember them days too very well, right? And then comes along the little one, and all that shit goes out the window. Yeah, I get
out the window, man. The only time I jump on Xbox now, like I'd used it for the train for Coda. Just I know the lay of the land for the track, but just the train for that, you know what I mean, and get some sort of speed perception and just the way it goes, and yeah,
no, absolutely. What's your favorite podcast you listen to? I listen to several. Honestly, dude, a lot of people find it strange that I don't listen to a whole lot of motorcycle podcasts. There's very few motorcycle podcasts I do listen to. Off Track, not Crothers and Bryce, but Off Track, my buddy out there in the UK. Chasing the Racings, another one of my favorite ones. Moto PG is absolutely an amazing one. Who do you listen to?
Go ahead.
I said, what podcast do you listen to?
Yeah, so obviously this one. Putting the gas, but I listen to Dustin's any of the Moto America stuff. I kind of have to listen to it just if there's some sort of breaking news or something like that, or information. Just being part of that circus, you listen to it organically, right? So yeah, even Carruthers and Bice, which is I'm not the biggest fan of that, but even Gypsy Tales, I like Gypsy Tales.
Yeah, me too.
My boy Jay Power just came out with one, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm drawing a blank right now on what the name of the podcast is. But Jay Powers, it's like business something. But the audio and the way he has produced this thing is absolutely fantastic. And obviously it's not live or anything like that, so he can go in and remix the audio and stuff, but it's just like so smooth, man. So Jay's podcast is good. And I just try to listen to him as I go, as I travel, for Honda, and just stuck behind that windshield. Bunch of talk radio, a bunch of obviously Joe Rogan, I guess.
Yeah, I listen to Joe too. Yeah, I do too. My wife got me to listen to some crime ones too. She's like, "Man, you ever listen to these crime ones?" And I love the crime docu-series and all that bullshit. Yeah. So I was like, "Absolutely not." And then I listened to one. The first one I listened to was on Jonestown, where that freaking cuckoo guy got all them guys to drink that Kool-Aid. That's where the
yeah,
Kool-Aid
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
But bro, the way the guy, I guess it's the guy's voice and the way he tells it and all that. I was totally entranced. I was like, this is fucking amazing. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely.
It depends on what mood you're in too, right? Because there'll be times where like I'll even listen to like a Tony Robbins, audio book or whatever, and just to mentally prepare, psych myself up, or just pick up little nuggets that I can use in regular day life and stuff. So
David Goggins is a really good one.
Goggins,
that he's the absolute man. Can't Hurt Me. It's absolutely amazing. It's his other book too is just as good. It's yeah, man. Yeah. So music. What's your favorite music, Trevor?
Man, it's got to be rap or hip hop for sure. Just for it's Kanye. It's either Kanye or Drake. A lot of EDM stuff, but also, man, if I had to choose one dude that I could just listen to forever, and I'm gonna get some shit for it, man, it's my boy JT, Justin Timberlake, man. Dude, I absolutely love that stuff. I'm banging his new, album right now. Like, it's fantastic. It's something that there's rhythm and soul and harmony, and man, the dude just kills it even now. I mean, hell, me and Robert were dancing at my house on Saturday, some JT for hours.
Absolutely, dude. Who don't like JT, right, dude? People find it surprising because when I listen to Frank, I'll be jamming some Frank Sinatra, and they're like, "What are you listening to?" I was like, "What? You don't Frank Sinatra?" Man, I don't. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of Kanye West, dude. I just, hey, not for me. But man, I like Young Dolph. I fuck with Dolph.
Okay.
And of course Eminem, but man, I listen to everything country. It's same thing. It depends on what mood I am. It's depending on what I listen to too, for sure. So you grew up in the same time period I did. So I'm asking you, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Man, I'm gonna go with Star Trek, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's because it was on TV. Yeah, I mean, obviously you had the movies with William Shatner and those guys that kind of came out over the years and stuff like that, and it was just playing off of the TV shows and stuff, man. But man, it's got to be Star Trek because it was just on all the time. You know what I mean? Like, you had Next Generation, Captain Picard, and yeah.
What Star Trek character would you be?
Oh man, I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head.
All right.
Definitely not Picard or anything like that, or Bill Shatner, none of.
No, absolutely not.
Scotty or something. I don't know. Yeah,
that's all right. We can come back to that way. And Dustin Ray, what is going on, man? He says Spice Girls.
Yeah, why not?
That
likes a little scary spice,
right? I mean, facts, right? Absolutely. Celebrity crush.
I knew it. Right. When I went to Spice Girls, it's gonna be celebrity crush.
Yeah.
Man,
I know there's so many, right?
There's a ton.
One of my buddies said, which Instagram model? And I was like, shit, I don't know. There's 5 billion of them. You just pick one.
Those. Those aren't going to be like any sort of crush or anything.
No.
Like a movie crush?
That man, just whatever singer, movie, porn star, whatever, it don't matter.
Oh. World, I can't be ripping off some.
Right?
Yeah, geez, man. I should have wrote all this down because you asked the same question, so I should have known what was coming.
I need to change them. I'm gonna start changing. I got more added to it. I just need to redo my sheet because it's like, dude, it's bad, dude. I need to redo it.
Yeah, I don't know if there's. I don't know, man. So that's what's kind of cool about the motorcycle side of it too, is like you get exposed to a lot of things. Or working for Honda, you get exposed to like celebrities like constantly, so it's not even here in Nashville, Tennessee, like shit, I can go into a dealership and it wouldn't be uncommon to see Jason Aldean or Tim McGraw, so
Samuel Hayek is one of mine.
Yeah.
And Eva Menendez. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
those are good ones.
Facts. Halle Berry. I mean,
Halle Berry,
dude, I can just, dude, bro, come on now. Absolutely a monster.
Yeah.
What advice would you give your younger self, Trevor?
Advice to give my younger self. I don't necessarily know, because I've always been I've been pretty self level, you know what I mean? Like, I've had some adversity in life, probably just like anybody else has, um and made some really good decisions, and I think I've always surrounded myself around really, really good people that have helped me and kind of mentored me or showed me the way, or have always influenced me in a positive direction. Um, so I think I've chosen kind of the right path for overall, just surrounding myself with good people. I know growing up, there was people that were not good, and not be around them. And, it's kind of straight away from that stuff. So I'm not into drugs or anything like that, or, a career criminal or anything,
Except
man.
for hot sauce. That's the only drug we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, hot sauce for sure. Riding motorcycles, I guess, if you want to consider that one.
Oh, absolutely. It's the best drug there is out there. It's
Um,
and there's no cure.
yeah. I would say just enjoy the time, man. We only get one lap around this place, So what happens, and then you just kind of keep moving forward and keep learning from it. There's a lot of cliches out there for sure that I won't go into, but you can say, oh, there's no losing, there's only learning and crap like that. But that's kind of true though. So, and everybody's kind of said it, if you try hard,
you can achieve anything you want, bullshit, but okay.
Dream big.
Right. Yeah. I do that. It's good advice. Try to live in the moment. That's what I try to do all the time, because life just goes, especially all you younger guys out there listening, and girls, listen, once you have a kid, it's like next thing you know, he's crawling, and then he's running, and then he's 11. And you're like, where the hell did this time just go? I mean, we're already almost in April. And to me, it feels like we've literally just started a year, and it's
Yeah. We only get little people for so long, man. So I love my little girls. They're amazing little people. My wife and I have little twins. So my oldest looks dead on like me as a baby, which is scary. So I'm either really handsome or she's really handsome, or I'm really cute. I haven't figured that one out yet. And Lily looks just like her mama. So they're both just beautiful girls, and they love playing soccer. And I coach their soccer. So when I'm not riding motorcycles, I coach their soccer team, which is a lot of fun. And we have a lot of fun with that stuff too. So we bring the full kits out with easy ups, and have an inflatable dragon, and we'll do smoke bombs and music and intro music. And I make them posters, like all these posters and stuff. Like, we'll make them all those things for each individual kid. And it's just rec league soccer too. It's just U12 rec league. And these kids are decked out, so it's a lot of fun doing that stuff for sure. And so that kind of takes away a little distraction from the motorcycle stuff, but it also takes away from me able to ride more. But again, I only have little people for so long. You know what I mean? I can go riding when I'm 50.
Yeah.
So enjoying that quality time with them is amazing and so much fun. And I love it.
Yeah, it's the greatest thing ever. I spend all my time if I'm not at work, or I'm on the phone setting up a podcast. So that's been the trickiest thing for me, Trev, is trying to balance out my full-time job. A lot of people don't realize what it really takes to do a podcast. I mean, there's so much involved. Just like a lot of people don't understand what it takes to prepare for a race weekend. I mean, there's so much shit that people don't realize what it takes or what goes into it. But that balancing, and if I didn't have that support system from my wife and my son, I wouldn't be able to do it. It's everything. My family's absolutely my everything.
Yeah, it has to be a balance.
For sure.
Motorcycle racing is selfish.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's beyond selfish. So, I know the girls like to jump in the RV and, come up to the track and have fun, especially at the chili cook-off. That's always a great time doing karaoke and stuff. And they'll put me on the spot. They're like, Daddy, sing like this girl song or something. I'm like, God dang it. All right.
Okay, I got you. Let's do this. Yeah.
Sweatshirts in the summer or whatever, and so that's a good time. But I know at the same time, they're bored as heck when I'm out there just doing laps at the track. I know they like me watch racing, but doing a track day, they're not into it. So it has to be a balance,
No, absolutely it does. It's amazing, because I know I do shit like Rossi's always like, will you watch me play Fortnite? I'm like, God Damn it, dude. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do this Fortnite thing, right? Or he'll be on the Oculus and I'll be literally watching something, or I'll be on the phone trying to set up a podcast or whatever it is. He'd be like, Dad, turn on your phone so I can show you this game on the Oculus. And I'm like, all right, let me call you back or whatever, right? And then I'm like, I'm getting sick trying to watch this game on my phone. I'm like, yeah, that looks really cool, dude. You know, then I'll go in there and put it on. I'm immersed in this world, which if you guys haven't tried it, it's absolutely amazing, right? It's funny because this is what my buddy said when he learned I bought my son the Oculus, Trevor. The first thing he said was, have you watched porn on that thing yet? And I was like, what? Like, you just took it to a whole new level, man. Like, I'm talking about playing Star Wars. You thought, nah, absolutely not. So
that's funny. Yeah, we have 2 of them, and the same thing. We got them for the girls and stuff, but they never rock them. They'll play Beat Saber and stuff like that, and whatever. And you know, I'll play it every now and then, but it's the same thing, man. You just don't have time. But yeah, if they ask me to do something, even when it's like, I always just think like, I'm gonna dread the day when they don't ask me.
Yes.
You know, so I'm gonna take advantage of this and make them happy, and ultimately it's gonna make me happy as well. I'm gonna have a memory that they wanted me to be a part of, because there's gonna be a time, man, where they'll be like, they're gonna be too cool for me, you know, and I'm gonna take it every time.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna absolutely kill me when that day comes with my son, right? It's like, man, it's like I tell people that don't have kids, and this one lady argued with me. She's like, "Well, I have a dog. It's the same thing." I was like, "No, absolutely not. It's not. I've got both, and I've put many dogs down, and absolutely devastated me. But having a kid is." It's not even the same universe. It's hard to explain. It's like this certain switch that gets switched on mentally that you never even knew was there. And once it's on, it's just like I explained this the other day. When I turned 16, I bought a motorcycle. My mom would just worry. And I'm like, I got this, Mom. No worries. You know, I'll be safe, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I have a son, I understand that worry, right? It's because my mom still to this day is call me, right? So I go over there and eat dinner with my parents once a week, and then if I don't call her 1 or 2 days, she's like, "ET phone home." That's our thing. I'm like, okay, let me call my mama real quick. Hey, Mom, what's going on? I just want to tell you I love you. So now I've really made a habit and a point to pretty much every day. It's just sweet, either a heart emoji or just a simple "I love you," and that's it.
100%.
And it makes her day and it makes my day. So yeah, absolutely. And then Lost Cause Racing. What is going on? He says they grow up overnight, really, and absolutely they do. It's you just
look at Facebook memories that are just, you know, just a couple years old, and I was like, there's a little baby, and now I have a little person. You know, it's crazy, man. And that's kind of, I guess, one cool thing about Facebook is those Facebook memories. But yeah, they'll pull at your heartstrings too, like, oh, where's that little voice? You know, where's that little baby?
Right. Yeah. And I found myself getting more emotional too after I had a kid. Like I'll be watching a movie and I've never cried a movie, and over there like a freaking little girl.
Yeah.
My wife's like, my wife's not even crying. Are you crying? I'm like, absolutely not. My contact's messing with me. She's like, you're full of shit, right? Yeah.
Man, all those kids movies are made for adults, man. Facts. You don't realize it when you're a kid, but they're made for adults. Yeah, man, I cried. Inside Out, whatever, where you had like all the alter egos.
Yes,
yeah. Bing Bong couldn't make it out of the pit. And, oh man, I was like, oh,
yeah, I was torn. Yeah, he's like, are you kidding me right now? No, yeah. No, it is. It's but that's good, man. It just shows that we're. I mean, it's like we had emotions that we knew that we had, but it just because you watch, you be like, why you cry all the time? I'm gonna watch this shit. You know, nah, I know. You know, it's yeah, man, it's real. I love real people. I love being real. Dude, yeah, absolutely. It makes
100%.
Life 100% better. So on that, man, what are you binge watching any Netflix series? You and your wife and your daughters, or
man, she put on that old school 911 show, you know, and I'm like, man, it's old school, you know, with Angela Bassett and stuff like that in there. So she was watching that all this weekend, but we'll binge watch like game shows, like The Traders, or you know, something like that, where you could just blow right through it. And we like some of those like reality TV kind of game show type deals for sure.
I just got done with me and my son actually Masters of the Air on Apple TV, and it's absolutely amazing show.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it. We'll look it up.
It's absolutely amazing. So are you into any other sports besides two-wheel racing? Me, I love soccer, right? So I do watch
soccer for sure. We love going to Nashville SC games up here. I'm actually part of the soccer committee for our city, so we love soccer. For me, a fun fact, I know I'm built like Peter Pan, as Destin likes to say, but I used to be a professional speed skater.
Nice.
Yeah. So, inline. And then, growing up, I was always in the skating rink racing. And I think that's where I kind of got some of my challenging spirit and things like that and the racer mindset. I used to be a professional speed skater and national champion. A lot of my old teammates are actually Olympic champions now, like Derek Para and Chad Hendrick and Casey Boudier and Jennifer Rodriguez. And so they transitioned from inline to ice. And of course, now this is, Cal Skate. Yep. Cal Skate. And, so that, I wish I had my skate in here. I still have them. And racing is racing. So even back then it was expensive. So just the boot is a custom carbon fiber boot that's molded to your foot. Exactly. I mean, you can even have and it's all microfiber materials and carbon fiber. And just that's $2,000. Just for the boot.
Holy
and then you
shit.
have the chassis, which is about another $400 or $500, depending on what chassis you have. And then each individual wheel was $10. So it's $100 in wheels. And then of course you had your ceramic bearings or your Boss Swiss bearings and stuff like that, which is a lot of money too. But man, it's almost like takeoffs for road racing. They're perfectly fine to do track days and stuff with, but after a race, just at a skating rink, we just give them to the kids. Here you go. Have these wheels. I'm not going to use them anymore. But I used to be a speed skater back growing up, and it's a little fun fact.
Yeah, that's absolutely awesome. I never got into speed skating. I used to go to the skating ring and try to get all the chicks, what I'm saying? Like, hey, baby, what's up? Then I bust my ass because I was never good at skate. Matter of fact, we went, obviously, when we had my son, he's 11 now. So, of course, you start going to kids' birthday parties, right? And at the skating ring. So I was like, I got this, no problem. Put on these skates, get out there. 2 minutes later, fucking straight hit the deck, bam! And I was laying there. I was like, oh, okay, I don't have this, right? So I was holding the wall for a minute, and then I started going slow. My wife's like, no, and I'm like, I'm gonna stick to them twos, baby. I'm gonna stick to them twos. I'm good.
We'll go to a skating rink, for a kid's birthday party or something like that, man. And I'll bust out my skates and stuff. And of course, the wheels on those things are 20 years old at this point, so there's no grip, man. And my challenge and spirit, my ego is like, God, man, I'm gonna go over to that freaking pro shop right now and get some wheels on this thing and tune these little kids up. They don't even know.
Don't even know.
Yeah, it's funny,
dude. That is awesome, man. That's PlayStation or Xbox?
Xbox for sure.
What's in the console?
That's what we've always stuck with that console across the board. And of course we have Oculuses now too that barely get used.
Yeah, but my son uses the shit out of his Oculus unless he's on Fortnite on my PS5, and then as soon as I kick him out of there, I'm like, dude, I want to play, right? Because I don't get a chance to play a lot, so I get on there and play with my friends and. Yeah, and
I don't know why they don't use it more, because they play a bunch of like Roblox and stuff like that, which is on there, but they don't do it.
I dude, like I said earlier, man, when we first got it, we got him the Oculus 3 now, and
okay.
I'm trying to remember the name of that Star Wars game. So I was like, man, give me that shit. I'm a Star Wars nerd, and I put it on, and I was like, holy shit. I'm in a Star Wars playing. My robot's right here. Dude, it was absolutely amazing, but I can only play it for about 30 minutes. It's definitely different. I tell you that it really is. So growing up, everybody has a favorite racer. Who was Trevor's favorite racer growing up?
Motorcycle racer?
Nope.
It's Nicky Hayden all day long. It's not even a question. I even had my hair, did the cheetah print and polka dots and all that stuff like that. I mean, absolutely. It's Nicky. We got tons of photos with them and stuff, and being a Honda guy and just digging his style and being about the same age, it was Nicky. As far as like just full on badass, of course it's Matt Mladen, for AMA and stuff. And then everybody likes Rossi. Rossi's the man, but for sure it's not even debatable. It's Nicky Hayden.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously he's my favorite too. Well, Hayden and Rossi, because I named my son Hayden Rossi, right? So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, it was hard for me, man, because I had the overseas guy that was he just brought something different to the sport, right? It was celebrations, the way he talks shit, just the whole nine, right? That
Yeah.
it drug you in. I mean, and then of course America over here, we had Hayden, and it was just absolutely amazing. So to me, I had the best of both worlds, right? Overseas
Yeah.
and here. So yeah, it's absolutely. So if you can go to dinner with any three people in the world, dead or alive, who you bringing to dinner with you?
Oh, my wife for one. Yeah. So maybe like a Denzel Washington. Um, my wife's number two. Well, she's number one, but she'd be my second guess. My plus one.
Right.
Denzel, and then dead. What should we get dead one? Man, wasn't prepared again for that one. I would just like to maybe like a Kevin Hart. Somebody that's gonna be funny. Yeah, I mean, that's going to lighten up the mood and just be joking the whole time, because I'm all about jokes and
Me
laughter
too.
and stuff like that. But I do like to hear stories. So
Yeah.
someone that has a good story that can captivate you and keep you engaged in that story. And as they're telling it, you could see it. Man, somebody like that's a good storyteller. Those are always enjoyable too.
I would have George Carlin would absolutely
Oh,
be
yeah.
who I'd have. Yeah, Carlin's my dude, man. He's one of
Yeah.
my favorite comedians. He was just, he didn't give a shit, told it how it was, and it was just absolutely awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So,
you said came true, man. Like you just had the crystal ball.
Bro, it's like the fucking Simpsons, man. Are you kidding me right now? It's like, how do they come up with this shit? And they know the Simpsons know. I'm telling you, they freaking know, man. So, let me ask you this: do you watch the Isle of Man TT?
Yeah.
This is a question that I like to. I'm a nerd when it comes to the TT. In your opinion, and this is, I mean, you got to know a little bit of the history of the TT, but in your personal opinion, who do you think had the greatest TT comeback ever? The list is long, but I'm just going to give you two names to compare, right? In your opinion, Mike Hellwood or Josh Brooks?
I would say Josh Brooks just because he's newer. Hellwood's a little bit before my time, I think. But man, it's Joey Dunlop, though. You know what I mean? The old school, the Castrol, the red RC51. I mean, these boys are ripping now at ridiculously speeds. But and if the next question is, would I do the TT? The answer is yes, I would do it. We all grew up on the street. Well, not all of us, but I started off on the street, and I was ripping in the hills of Northern California like it was the race anyways. Actually, my wife would be on the back, and she would be making fun of us. She's like, Trev, you're racing people that don't even know they're being raced. So, I mean, we'd go out there and completely dice it up on the street. So going fast on the street definitely doesn't scare me one bit. I know that people die every year, but man, people have died in Moto America too.
I mean, but people, man, I disagree with people. Oh man, it's so dangerous this time. I was like, look, man, it's like anything, right? But the people that are doing it, I don't think about the risk. To them, it's not about the risk, right? They don't, obviously they're doing it, so they're willing to accept whatever happens. If it does, right, it's fine. At least I went the way I wanted to go. So it's absolutely.
I always say to my wife, I'm like, hey, if I die on a motorcycle, don't say, well, at least he died doing what he loved. I don't want that cliche. But yeah, I would absolutely do it, 100%. And I think we all realize what the risk is. And if anybody says they weren't scared, they're lying. Because you do have those nervous, jitters and stuff, whether it's like for performance or just not to die. Or the bike doesn't feel quite right or whatever it is, because otherwise we'd all just be doing the same lap times. If somebody wasn't scared, I mean, it'd just be, depends how fast the bike is, just be at terminal velocity the whole time.
Yeah. Dude, I would. And you're right. Joey Dunlop, he's one of my favorite. David Jeffries. I mean, dude, so real quick on Mike Hellwood. Mike Hellwood actually, he left for like 8 years, I think, and then came back and won. And that's like absolutely unheard of at the TT. That was his comeback, which was absolutely fucking amazing,
Awesome.
dude.
Yeah,
it's absolutely TT's on my bucket list. It's some place I've never been. Can't wait to go.
My buddy Stu and his wife Angela just went there this year, and they loved it. They went with my buddy Neil and stuff, and they took the trip and ferried over and stuff. And they give me shit all the time, like, "Well, I'm here." They're like, "Yeah, but have you done TT yet?" So yeah, it's one of those things that I think that you, me, Robert, a couple buddies need to go over there and have a couple pints and just watch them go.
Listen, I'm with it. I'm telling you, I'm 110%. It's on my bucket list. I'm going. We'll all plan a trip because I got a couple other buddies that want to do it too. We can all chip in, and yeah, it'll be absolutely amazing. Did they go during practice week or race week? Are you there? I think we lost them.
Sure.
Oh,
we're back.
All right.
Are we back?
Yeah, back.
Yeah, did two little circles there.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Yeah. Did they go during race week or the actual practice week?
I'm not sure what time of the week they went or the event.
So Dean Kelston, what is up, my man, dude? His son, Brennan, dude, is absolutely fat. I don't see how he doesn't have a ride in Moto America because he's
never heard of the guy.
Yeah, right. Never heard of the guy, but dude, he's absolutely. He says, "What's up, Trev? Much love from Team Brennan Kelston Racing."
Yeah,
absolutely.
Dean's another longtime NorCal buddy. Hell, I went to their wedding before Brendan was even around. So yeah, we've been friends for 25 years now at this point, probably. So yeah, Brendan's doing awesome. I just saw I killed it again at CVMA, and we got to get him back out here and get on some of these other tracks and see what he can do with that bike for sure.
He's absolutely amazing, and big shout out to them because you were the one when I wore his t-shirt on the podcast several weeks ago. He's like, "Hey, you got B shirt on?" I was like, "Yes, let's go." Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
absolutely. Which reminds me, do you have any your team shirts?
No, not yet, because I haven't made like any sort of announcements or anything to see who's going to be on it for 2024. And now truthfully we'll probably just be running last year's shirts because it's only 2 months before and that's pretty tight for those guys over at Flex Racing. Devin Husband does a great job on stuff. The product's fantastic, but I wouldn't want to put him in the sort of bind like that. I'm like, hey man, where's my shit?
Yeah.
So and that's just me procrastinating and just because I don't know who's going to be on it, whether it's going to be these guys or somebody else or who I don't even know is going to be on the side of the bike this year, to be quite fair. So yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. But my team shirts from last year are awesome. And they really stand out on out there on the paddock and on the grid. And man, we can run those things again.
Yeah. Well, good. Do you have any for sale? Because I need one so I can wear it on the podcast to represent you too.
Man, I'll see what I can do.
I'll see what I can do. Absolutely. Well, listen,
extra medium.
Dude, absolutely extra medium. You already know the deal, right? Yeah. It was funny, man, because dude, look, I'm proud of myself because I weighed like 260 pounds. I was on a 40 waist. I'm down to a 36, 34. Depending on if it's a Levi or whatever, right?
Sure,
you know how that goes. And I'm down to like 202 or 205, one of those two.
Nice.
So it's it's absolutely. I just changed my diet and added some exercise into it and cut back on a bunch of beer, right? Because beer's good. So
that's crazy, man. When I used to be a speed skater, I was like 175, 180 pounds.
Yeah.
Just rail skinny, big old trunk legs, big old booty. Just would even walk with my booty out and stuff. And now freaking I'm just a dad.
It's funny when you have kids, we get that dad bod for sure, right?
Yeah.
Dude, it was funny, Trevor, because when my wife was pregnant, I'm the one that got sick and threw it. And I just woke up one night and was like, I'm gonna fucking puke. And ran straight over and started puking. She's like, and she never did it. She's like, well, you just got sickness from me. And I was like, this is some bullshit. I didn't sign up for this. Like, whoa, is this crazy? Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, man, we're at almost an hour and 30 in this. It's been an absolute honor. You guys stay tuned because part 2 will be coming up. But Trevor, before we get off here, I need you to give all your shout outs.
Yeah. First of all, Chris, thanks for having me for sure. It's always a good time and I enjoy listening to your podcast and I hope that everybody enjoyed it. I always have to give it up to my wife, my daughters, Kelly and Lily. And then obviously my crew, my good group of guys, my best friends, Robert, Travis, Jay, Daniel, Shoemake, of course. Those guys are my core that help out. And then Mike and Patricia at BTI Photo, Fastline Track Time, John Cook at Track Day Winner, which is not Track Day Winner anymore, but still John Cook. Thanks for helping me out. Of course, American Honda and the boys over there with Jeff, Brandon, Sean, John, like all my buddies over there. I won't go into all your last names and stuff, but yeah, the Honda guys that helped me out too. So I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody because I didn't write stuff down. Obviously, Chris, I said Fastline, but Chris and Becky Meyer. Yeah, thanks for everything. I really appreciate it, and look forward to making some more memories here in the next couple months or so.
Yeah, absolutely. And who's this Daniel Shoemake guy you keep talking about? I've heard of him before.
God, he doesn't have a neck. I know that much. It's just like he looks like a big toe, but but he likes to do some moonlight as a podcaster when he's not a big toe.
Yeah, I love it, dude. Big Toe. That's absolute, dude. Daniel Big Toe Shoemake. That's his nickname. I love it, dude. I'm writing it down right now. Daniel Big Toe Shoemake. That's fucking amazing. I love it. I love it. But listen, you guys, thank you guys so much. I got to do my quick shout outs too, real quick. Big shout out to RD Racing and my man Jake Marsh out there in BSB. He has a club, Club 45. You guys go sign up, help him out. And trust me, all these guys need help. Trevor needs help. It's so expensive, but go give him a shout. If you got any troubles, get in touch with him. Let me know. Another one, my man Jillian Carrera races in the British Talent Cup. He has a Club 40. Big shout out to him. Guys, go sign up for his club. Absolutely talented, amazing, fast young man that's gonna future champ for sure. All these guys are. Big shout out to SFL Mini GP. Anybody down in Florida ever, or anybody in the whole United States ever want to go and learn to race, whether you're 4 years old or me and Trevor's age, trust me, look no further. That's where Avery the Lap Slayer Dreyer, your 2023 Junior Cup champion came from, right? And there's many more right behind him coming up through the ranks. So big shout out to those guys. Big shout out to my man Martin at the clothingkings.co.uk, where you can go and order all your Pendergast merch, shirts, sweet shirt, all that good shit. Even underwear, if you want some underwear, that'd be kind of crazy. But yes, let's get into it. But yeah, listen, guys, nothing but love for every single one of you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and supporting me. It actually means the world to me. And yeah, we will see you soon. Thank you so much. Trevor, man, what'd you think? I had a lot of fun, bro. That was awesome.